What's the deal? What's the deal? We're back again, PolitiKan the podcast, live every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So we got a slew of things to talk about. We got Anthony Davis talking about possibly being on the trading block in LA. We got Luka Doncic. He's over there looking like the future of the league. 9 straight 30-plus point games. We got Josh Allen, the surprise pick, leading the MVP race, man, above Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. We got Eminem. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And last but not least, we got to talk about this this topic, man, paper genocide, man. So it's something that happened to the Indian people, and I believe that it's something that's happened to black people in America and is happening to black people in America today as we speak. Paper genocide, man. So we're gonna really get into that topic and educate you on what that is and how that's affecting us today. So I'm gonna bring in the crew. We got the mayor, we got y'all Jaquetted here. Man, what's the deal, fools?
What up? What
What
up?
up?
So first, I want to give Yah his flowers, man. He's just got a big come up, man. So I just wanted everybody to hear this announcement. So Yah, man, tell everybody what you got going.
When you chase after your dreams and your goals, and you go after your passion, and you don't quit, you end up doing it full time. So your boy now is officially a full-time videographer, content creator, and social media manager for the University of Antelope Valley, my hometown. So I get to help out other people ignite their genius and be the best person they can be, and get off the boat of average.
Yes, sir. Man, that's amazing, man. Keep going, man. Just what was this 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
We was just starting out of nowhere, man. Just looking how everybody's excelling and finding their own lane. And this is why we gotta realize that we are not competition. That we don't have to compete with each other. The opportunities that are for you, not for me,
Exactly.
not for anyone else. You know what I'm saying? So we don't have to. We gotta get out this mindset that we got to compete with each other for these positions because it's plentiful. God said it's plentiful out there, man. There's enough, more than enough for everyone. Let's get into this first topic, though, man. The Los Angeles Lakers have looked terrible. They blame Russell Westbrook, but now they have moved him to the bench, and now he is looking good coming off the bench. So now you can no longer blame Russell Westbrook. LeBron is having one of the worst shooting seasons of his career. None of these younger stars have stepped up to show anything. And Anthony Davis is not looking like a top 10 player in the league anymore. So, should they trade Anthony Davis and start the deconstructing process to break down this roster and plan for the future? Or should they go all in for LeBron James' last 2 years in hopes of trying to capture another championship with this core? Let's go to you, Alvin, our resident Laker, man. What should the Lakers do with Anthony Davis? Should they keep him and go all in and trade them 2 picks? Or should they trade Anthony Davis, get up off Russell Westbrook after the All-Star game or at the end of the year and figure out what they're going to do with LeBron after that and move on to the future? They got 1 championship out of this already. Is that enough to say, hey, we're not leveraging our future? Let's move on.
I'm already disappointed that we sold the house for 1 championship to begin with. So at this point, I would have to say, like I said with Westbrook, we just got to ride it out. I mean, the same way a lot of people just looked over the fact that LeBron signed his extension to stay with the Lakers for these next, for the next 2 years without any hesitation, right? We also didn't pay attention to the fact that the Lakers re-signed Rob Pelinka and allowed him to continue to make bad decisions for our roster. And I heard it from Richard Jefferson earlier today on Instagram, and it kind of caught me off guard where I'm like, yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, we gave up everything that made us who we were for Anthony Davis, who only gave us one shot in the playoffs, where after he hit the three, he said Kobe and jumped into everybody's arms and, they bumped and all that stuff. Like, I would let him go, but I don't think there's anything worth him and the 2 first-round draft picks. There's really nothing on the market right now that we can get that we shouldn't have already gotten. So I say we keep the roster as constructed. I don't know why, honestly, we haven't picked up any free agents, because there's a lot of free agents just sitting. I mean, Dwight Howard is going to play in Taiwan. Carmelo Anthony is still a free agent. Like I said last week, Gerald Green is still a free agent. You can get I think even ISO Joe is a free agent now. Pick up anybody that can get you a bucket, and it changes the dimension and the chemistry of the team, like, tremendously, instantly. But no, I'm not wasting the future on Anthony Davis anymore. We will keep him and ride out with what we have. I mean, if it's me, though, we keep him and ride out and then see what happens next year.
But my question right there is, if you don't trade him and he has a 2-2 deal and he can choose to opt out after next year, then essentially he walks for nothing. If you can get a few young players in a late first-round pick for him, that's better than playing through this year, letting him play through next year, and letting him walk.
Well, no,
I think that his value would be higher right now than it would be coming into next year after 2 bad seasons.
If you look at the worst teams in the league right now, they're doing better than the Lakers and even Golden State Warriors right now. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's on the up and up. The Lakers are supposed to solidify themselves as a championship contender by putting people around LeBron and AD that could shoot, but they didn't. So now that we suck, and I say it proudly that we suck, there's no reason why we shouldn't just go ahead and keep him, right? And see what happens throughout the season. Like you said with Westbrook, maybe possibly letting him go around the trade deadline, right around All-Star break. No difference with Anthony Davis. If he can stay injury free, he could help change the demeanor of the team and how it's going. I know it sucks. I mean, come on now. This is the worst start in Lakers history, probably all the way back to MPLS Lakers. Like, we're just gonna have to take it. We're gonna have to take it to the chin. Like, we're still better than the Clippers. So, and I don't mean like this season, but I'm talking about, like, franchise wise. So we can take this L right now and just move forward, because I am, you know what I mean? Like, I'm taking it.
So what you think about this, Yas? Should they trade Anthony Davis? What should the Lakers do? What's the next play?
Ladies and gentlemen, I get on this podcast and I talk about it all the time, and I'm going to still talk about it. Why are we talking about the Lakers? Why do we talk about the Clippers? The only team that's relevant on this panel is the Chicago Bulls. But anyways, and we're struggling right now. Anthony Davis, let's see. Anthony Davis, I believe, if my facts are right, I believe in the last 3 years, Derrick Rose has played more games than Anthony Davis and Kawhi Leonard. But we're talking about Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis can't stay healthy. It's cool. Now, on the other side, since we brought up Chicago, Anthony Davis, just come home. Just come home. You know what I'm saying? We'll give up like Andre Drummond for Anthony Davis, because, at least Andre Drummond can play some games. Now, Laker history shows that Lakers don't bet on their future. The Lakers aren't trying to wait for the number 1 draft pick or anything of that nature. What the Lakers like to do, they'll get their draft picks and then they trade them off. Alonzo Ball, they just get rid of all their players. Julius Randle, they get all their young talent that they had. Lakers just ship them off to get whoever's hot right now. So they go, okay, Anthony Davis, you're hot. Boom, come to the Lakers. We'll give up the whole house for it. We give up Kuzma. We give up Ingram. We give up everybody. So that's how the Lakers like to play it. They like to roll the dice that way. They're not going to change that. But as far as just their franchise, I don't really know. I don't watch the Lakers. Like, I don't give a two rats butts about the Los Angeles Lakers. I mean, y'all, it just proves to me that your bubble championship.
Oh my goodness!
You know what I'm saying? Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
You're right.
Am I wrong to think this? Like, nobody wanted to play, and then the Lakers win a bubble championship, and y'all haven't been good ever since then.
Look, I'm gonna say this one time because I don't think I've ever said it before about the bubble championship. If you think about real hooping, right? If there's no fans, there's no cheerleaders, there's no crowd, there's no nothing, right? And everybody's locked in to have to play. They have to play it as we're going to go home, we're going to go to the room, we're going to sleep, maybe play 2K, play some type of video games, play pool, cards, whatever, but you're going to go back to the gym and it's me versus you, and the only noise you hear is the automated, like, pretend crowd. I feel like that's why you got so many players that finally showcased who they were and they were able to secure that bag. Like Jamal Murray, what he did, him and Donovan Mitchell. No disrespect. We're going to leave the Lakers championship alone, right? If you look at those two individuals alone, so I don't get too far off the topic, those two were able to get the checks that they were able to get after that season because of what they did in that season. If they didn't kill in that playoffs, there was no way they were getting the bag the way they were getting it. Donovan Mitchell's not in Cleveland. You know what I mean? Like little things like that. So I think what we're forgetting is the Lakers only got the championship because at that time, everything went right for them to win. It wasn't that they were the best team in the bubble. I'll admit that. I'll put my right hand up and admit they were not the best team in the bubble. But every team that was better than them got knocked off by a different team that allowed them to skate by to the championship. And then we got what we got. So
that's why we call it the bubble championship, because unfortunately injuries got the best of a lot of teams and you guys didn't have to play nobody. But after you guys won that championship, not you, not you. But this is my gripe. This is my gripe with Laker fans, because the thing is, you guys won your bubble championship, and every year y'all over here saying we the best, we the best, we the best, we the best, we the best. And ever since y'all won that, and everybody coming out saying it was a bubble championship, it doesn't really count. It goes down in the record books that you guys got a chip, and I seen it. I know who it came from, but I ain't gonna put his name out there. I know who wrote that. A chip is a chip. I know who wrote that. We just got done talking to him. I know who wrote that. But y'all going, yeah, we won the championship and everything of that nature, and y'all didn't play nobody. Oh, we went through the Miami Heat. Bam was injured. Jardrix or whatever his name was injured. The Heat were injured. Y'all didn't go through Brooklyn.
I'll put my hands. Look. White flag. No. Look. White flag. Ready? That's a piece of paper. The reason why we yell and scream and flex like this over the championship. Remember the history of the NBA. Boston has 17. Lakers have 17. That championship put us back even with Boston, and now we can rep that we're the best in the league because we have the most championships since, say, I don't know, 2000. Since 2000, the Lakers. No. We've had the most championships as an organization since 2000. But when you look at Boston, that's right, baby. That's right, baby. That's right, baby.
And Murdoch, watch out with all that.
Since
production, that wasn't in the pre-production.
That's right, Murdoch. That's right, Murdoch. That's right, Murdoch. Since 2000, the Lakers have had the most championships. And then when you look at pre-2000, Boston has.
But the best team of this new age decade is the Warriors.
No, but hear what I'm saying though. We're talking about the last 22 years. Look, the last 22 years, the Lakers have won how many championships?
How many?
5.
So you guys
In the last no. Just the last 22 years, the Lakers have won 5 championships.
No, that's more than 5.
Where?
You had the 3. You had
oh,
the 3,
my bad. You're right.
3P.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Then you had the 2 with Kobe.
Go ahead.
And then y'all had the bubble one. So
I was trying to be strategic and make you bring it up in a positive way.
How many?
That's 6 championship. Wait.
You don't have the most. Hey, how many does? How many? How many
since
does
2000.
Bulls have?
Yeah, no,
Wait.
Since 2000.
I got you, baby.
Since the year 2000.
I got you.
Okay.
I got you.
Okay.
How many do the Bulls have?
6
total. They were at one point the 3rd best team in the league, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now
you're going off subject, y'all. I know where you're going with this. I know.
Wait. Let me finish.
Come on.
And now we're considered the 4th best team in the league, right? Why are we the 4th best team? Who got more championships than the Bulls?
In franchise history?
It doesn't Golden State got more than the Bulls?
Yeah. In franchise history.
Yeah, franchise.
Right, but not since the year 2000.
He's saying of this millennium, the Lakers have the most championships of any franchise out
and before 2000,
Golden State
Boston
won a championship before 2000?
Huh?
Yeah, they were winning championships with the Showtime Lakers.
They had 11 championships.
I said Golden State won a championship before the 2000s.
Yeah. Yes, I did.
Yeah.
So they had 1.
No. They had 3.
How many?
They had 3.
They
had 3. Steph Curry has 4. They had 3 before he got to the Golden State, but that happened way back in the day.
All right, so we got to get to this next thing. So let's get back to the bubble conversation.
No,
because Anthony Davis, he had a good bubble, but that was Luka's coming out party. Luka came out against my Clippers in the bubble, and he really shined. And he's really been shining ever since. Since that stage, he's really lived up to the hype. And the hype has never died down. In fact, it's actually grown. And Luka is looking like probably the MVP of this league next to him and Ja Morant. So it's like you really have to look at it and look at him versus Ja and say, like, is he the future of the league or is this Ja's league to take? I don't know. When the 9 straight 30-point games, the way he controls the tempo of the game and the way he shows up in the big moments consistently, Luka Doncic might be like the top of these new up-and-coming superstars. What are y'all thoughts on Luka?
I don't really think it. Oh, go ahead, y'all. My bad.
I believe it. I believe the hype. I was trying to think of. I'm thinking about future players. Like, okay, you got Luka, you got Ja, and then I'm like, who else is killing it? You got Tatum, he counts. After that,
Zion was supposed to be the next guy.
Zion, so that's 4. I'm trying to think of a top 5 for the
Jalen Brown.
Oh yeah. Okay, you got Jalen.
Trae Young.
Trae.
Yeah, Ice Trae. You got to put Ice Trae in there.
You got Ice Trae. That's 6. Do we got a top 10 for the up and comers?
You want to say under 25 and under? I can help you do that. Yeah, maybe.
Because I was going to say I like Darian Fox, but
there you go. Yeah, definitely.
Does Spider count?
Yeah, because he's
boy from the Cavaliers.
Garland,
not Spider, but Garland.
Sexton that they let go. When they traded him to Utah, Jordan Clarkson. Hey, that's not Jordan Clarkson and Brandon Ingram.
Yeah, Bi is killing.
He's killing right now.
I can't lie. Bi is killing.
But I mean, we old heads right now, so I get where you're going. Yeah, we don't have no like big name superstar other than Luka and Giannis, maybe.
And does Giannis count?
No, Giannis is part of like the current superstar.
Yeah, he's already here. He's already here.
Yeah, he's as high as he's gonna get. We're talking about LeBron obviously don't got no more time as the forefront man of this league. That LeBron's era is officially over.
Mm-hmm.
Steph Curry is the last man standing.
Mm-hmm.
And Golden State is not looking too good right now. So
Wow,
He
this
is
I'm
might
surprised
be
you
the,
said that
so
with
this
them.
He
might
is
be the
second.
end of the Steph Curry era. So
Steph Curry is still
stepping
averaging
into
32
the
points.
next era, whose era is it going to be? And to me, I feel like it's going to be Luka's era, man. No one can no one controls the tempo of the game better than Luka Doncic right now. He plays at his pace. He's going to make you play at his pace. He's going to come down. He's going to get in the half-court set. He's going to keep getting his switches until he gets whoever he wants on him, and he's going to go to work. He was killing us in the bubble because he would keep getting his switches until he got Zubac on him. And as soon as he got Zubac on him, he would put him in a blender and then be like, he can't guard me. Get this guy off me and kill Zubac. And it was nothing that we can do. And we kept switching, and it just kept working. And we knew exactly what they were going to do, and we couldn't stop him. And that was our whole downfall in the bubble, was Luka exposed us to, they really ain't shit. We can pick apart and have our way with these guys if we want to.
Are you saying if the league stays how it is and all of the franchise, the current superstars and everybody falls off, are you saying that it's going to be between Dallas and the Celtics?
Yeah.
Okay.
For the foreseeable future. I mean, you
I
got Ice Tray over there
Mm-hmm.
in Atlanta, and they got a young core. They already been.
No, they are definitely going to be competing with Boston every single year.
So I think Boston just
Cavs?
got a clear cut. I don't think Boston just got a clear cut. Ice Tray going to be a problem over there for a while now. But Ice Tray in Boston, they looking like the East, and you got Ja, and you got Luka over here, and it's looking like they're going to run the West.
Look,
where do you put my boy Zach LaVine?
Ja, because he's too explosive, he doesn't stay healthy. This is why Luka is going to have bigger numbers.
What era does Zach LaVine go in?
I got that one. I want this one. So Zach LaVine and the Chicago Bulls, if Lonzo Ball was healthy, might be top 3 in the East, hands down, no questions asked. No questions asked. And I mean top 3, and I'm not 3 because like we saw it last year while they were healthy. We saw those little flashes. You know what I'm saying? They were crazy. DeMar DeRozan is only getting better. Zach LaVine is only becoming more poised with what he's doing. He's not like all over the place like he was when he was younger with Minnesota. And then Lonzo Ball, I mean, he's a coach's kid. You know what I mean? Like when you think about how he plays, he's like a really good, solid point guard. And he really did fix his 3. And I mean, I like Chicago Bulls right now if he was healthy. I mean, because he's not, I just don't know how far they can go. But to kind of jump back with that, since we're trying to keep that whole young taking over the NBA, we're forgetting that like Luka is 23, but he's been a pro since he was like 14, 15 years old overseas. And when you really look at all those videos we saw when he first got drafted about him getting beat with all those noodles and all that stuff, I did that with my kids in my front yard because of watching those videos. And they took it and it was like, hey, if I was doing this since 12 or 13, there's no way I wouldn't feel invincible. Luka Doncic has made him and Joker has basically let the world know that you don't have to be a super athletic black man to be good in the NBA. You don't have to be. You just have to be smart. You have to know the X's and O's. You have to know what people's tendencies are. Like when you think about when he switches, Zubac is trash up top. He cannot play any type of perimeter defense. He can't guard anybody up top. But does anyone ever make him switch? No. They just leave the big down low, force it down, kick it out, force it back. You know what I'm saying? So like when you think about Mark Cuban, Luka took the team from Dirk Nowitzki. Dirk said, do whatever you want. This is your city. This is your team. And he said, okay. I'll bring you a chip. And he's to me, he's the one that'll get you a chip before anybody else in the NBA right now. Outside of Giannis on the East and Boston, Atlanta, and Chicago are all neck and neck. Miami needs to give it up. When Jimmy Butler took his dreads out, I knew everything was over.
Yeah, he had fake dreads anyway. He had
it was all fake.
They were faux. They were faux dreads.
He had a man weave.
He was okay with
Come on, man. He had a man weave in, bro. For picture day, for media day, he came with a man weave. I can't respect it. We can't give him no excuse for that.
Exactly, and that's the captain of the team. That's why I can't put them in top 5.
He's the captain. He's capping.
I'm a Jimmy Butler fan, but Jimmy Butler shouldn't have showed up with that man.
Nah, and then and then he went babyface too. Like I don't know if I had a dream about it or if I really saw it on Instagram, but I know I saw a meme of them saying that Jimmy Butler, like somebody had put like as a caption that Jimmy Butler was trying to like pay homage to Brittany Griner by putting the faux dreads in and shaving his face to try to look like her. And I just thought that was the rudest joke ever. But then I laughed because I like that
Brittany Griner situation is
it's disgusting.
They just moved her and they can't even track where she is.
Exactly.
She's in like some underground bunker jail, and they talk about like it's like super nasty there. People be dying from disease.
And it's not accommodable for how tall she is.
Damn. So she got to crouch the whole time?
Yep.
She going to come out with scoliosis or something.
And the bed is too small.
I mean, I don't know much about like politics or anything, but I heard that other president, he was getting folks out. I mean, he got didn't he get one of the Didn't he get one of the Ball brothers back?
Yeah, he did. He got him back from China.
He got the Ball brother back.
Stealing out the Louis Vuitton store in China.
He was stealing. She didn't even have nothing.
She did. She had a marijuana vape, and she pled guilty.
But she ain't stealing.
Yeah, but when she pled guilty, now they thought that they was gonna give her a deal because she pled guilty, and she didn't play. That didn't give her a deal. So
I'm just saying.
I don't know who was her giving her legal advice, telling her to plead guilty for that. I feel like that was a bad play because now
maybe she thought the new president was
about to do 10 years. And the new president ain't about to do nothing.
Nope.
New president don't even know his name no more.
Smoking Joe.
I don't know. Well, back to the subject, man. Yeah, out of the young superstars, we gotta say that Luka Doncic is the next guy, man. He is the leader of the new school, and that's for sure. Like you said. He's only 23, man.
Yep.
He got another 10 years of this, man. So at least the next 5 of them is gonna be Luka time. I don't know how many championships he's gonna get out of that, but if Dirk Nowitzki got one against LeBron, and you see Luka with that Dirk Nowitzki step back, that shit is nasty.
With a handle though, with a crazy handle.
Nasty. I can't lie, Luka going crazy. I didn't expect that. I didn't even pay attention to him until he played the Clippers in the bubble. That's when I first looked at him like, what the hell is this white boy killing? How is this white boy killing us like this?
And to think that Dallas didn't even draft him. They drafted Trae Young and they traded Trae Young for Luka.
You see, you know what I mean? Both teams won because I know.
I know.
In Atlanta is probably generating them so much money.
Oh yeah. You wouldn't have got this type of buzz from Luka in Atlanta because he wouldn't have been able to relate, to the culture.
I mean, shout out to the Dallas Mavericks because they got Christian Woods, Palmdale, baby. Let's go.
Oh, Christian
Facts,
Wood's
facts.
balling too. He's hitting threes, he's hitting middies. He's playing defense. He's dunking. He's
Palmville.
he's really
AV
balling
stand up,
out
baby.
there. I can't
There we go.
lie. Christian Wood is doing the shit. I didn't think he was that good. But let's get to the NFL, man. So right now we have a three-man race, man. Josh Allen leads the pack as Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes are right behind him in the MVP race. So Jalen Hurts has the Eagles at 8-0 right now. Well, Patrick Mahomes, even without his star receiver, he's out there back in MVP form, putting up numbers, connecting with all type of different receivers. He's spreading the ball all over the field. And then you got Josh Allen emerging as like that new guy, that new Tom Brady, that new quarterback, but he's mobile. And they actually called design runs for him. And when he went head up against Patrick Mahomes, he beat him. So everybody's looking at Josh Allen as like the heir apparent. How Tom Brady and Peyton Manning used to have their duels. They're looking at Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen as like that new, you know, duo that's gonna always, go at it for the AFC. So who do y'all got for y'all pick for the MVP race right now? Is it Josh Allen? Is it Jalen Hurts having the Eagles undefeated? Or is it Patrick Mahomes doing this without Tyreek Hill, still putting up the numbers?
I kind of go with the fact that Philly's undefeated, that you should give respect to the quarterback that's keeping their team from losing any games. And then also you would have to look at Josh Allen probably be the second quarterback in this scenario because of what they did last year and consistency as far as in that position. Pat Mahomes is always doing what he does, but Tyreek Hill not being there isn't anything new. No disrespect to him or the Chiefs, but Philly being undefeated, it would only really be disrespect not to look at giving their quarterback the MVP nod or at least the edge over any other quarterback because it makes you more respected. It makes you more valued when you're not the one losing games. I mean, when you win, you're the hero. When you lose, you're the number one fault. You're the number one scapegoat. You're the person that's the one most blamed. So I go with Philly. I go with Hurts.
And I ditto that. I mean, I ditto it because they're 8-0, not just because they're 8-0. I ditto it because a lot of times, and even in the NBA, I'm beginning to think a little bit when it comes to the MVP, you gotta be a certain color. I mean, Joel did way better than Joker did, and Joker got MVP. I mean, Philly's 8-0, and I know Amrock's on here and everything. Ain't nobody thought Philly were gonna be no 8-0. Ain't nobody thought Philly were gonna be doing anything. So for them to come out of nowhere and put the whole world on shock, and they smacking on people, and then you still want to give the other quarterback, which is a different color, like he's the MVP. When the real MVP is in my opinion, is always the underdog where it came out of nowhere. Where you knew the Bills were going to do something. You knew the Chiefs were going to do something. Nobody thought Philly was going to do anything. And Philly came out and they smacking people. Why not put some respect on the man's name? Right now, he should be leading MVP vote. That's my opinion.
What's up, man, Rock?
What's good, fellas? Yeah, sorry for my tardiness, but yes, I came in at the perfect time. God, thank you for weaving me in there. Yes, I'm an Eagles fan, and Jalen Hurts is definitely the MVP right now. But if I had to look at another potential candidate, what about Tyreek Hill? Miami Dolphins, they I think they're 6-3 right now. Tua was out for those couple of games. They got some people in trouble, and Tyreek was still doing this thing. And as Tua returned, Tyreek Hill has taken off. I think right now there's, as far as receiving yards, he's number one in the league, and there's nobody even close to him for another 250 yards right now. Like, so he's clearly way in the distance, and I just think his impact, since joining Miami, has been incredible, and it's elevated Tua Tagovailoa to a different level this year. But yeah, I mean, the short answer, yes, is Jalen Hurts. The Eagles are undefeated. He's leading the charge, as their quarterback, as he should. Now that he has the weapons that he has, now that the team is constructed as it is, it's a blessing to see this happening. Hopefully they keep it going. Obviously, I don't think they'll end up finishing undefeated. I mean, I think somewhere along the line, somebody's going to catch them. I thought the Texans game was a trap game, actually, because they just played Sunday, and then they was playing immediately again on Thursday. The Texans, they got nothing to lose, and they fought for a little bit in that game. And this Commanders game could also be a trap game as well, being off for, I think now 11, 12 days. And then Commanders, again, another team with nothing to lose in our division as well. They're always going to want to play us hard, and it's in Philly. So Jalen Hurts is really going to have to show up like the MVP candidate that he is right now. But yeah, I would say if not Jalen Hurts, I would look at Tyreek Hill for the Miami Dolphins.
And y'all being drug tested.
I don't know. I feel everything y'all saying about Jalen, but you got to look at it from like the voting perspective. Not who should get it, but who's going to get it. And it's a bunch of journalists that are going to get to choose this award. So coming into it, it's Patrick Mahomes' award to lose. So they already got Patrick Mahomes chosen. And if he does what they think he's going to do, then he automatically is going to get it. It used to go to Tom Brady and Peyton Manning that way, and then it's basically been passed off to Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers having a terrible season, so it's basically Patrick Mahomes' award to lose. And Josh Allen beat Patrick Mahomes, and that's the only reason why they edging him right now, because in the showdown, he won up Patrick Mahomes. So now it's like, oh, is he better than Patrick Mahomes? So now that question is being raised, is if he's better than Patrick Mahomes, then Josh Allen would be seen as the best quarterback in the league now. And that's why they want to prop him up as the MVP. No matter what the Eagles do, nobody is questioning if Jalen Hurts is the best quarterback in the league. And this is why he's in the conversation, because the team is having success. But as far as like actually putting him in comparison against Allen and Mahomes, I don't think that nobody really compares him and puts him in that top quarterback position, no matter how magical the season is.
But y'all need to put some respect. This is more for the other panel. Ronnie's not here today, but y'all need to put some respect on my Seahawks. Y'all told us we were going to be trash.
Yes.
And once again, we got a better record than the people that always say my teams are trash. This is crazy.
Well, hey,
Geno Smith.
Geno is doing some magical stuff right now. I don't know how.
Yeah, but like you said, as far as with Patrick Mahomes just being like low-key the new golden boy and, it's his award to lose, it's kind of disrespectful if you think about the fact that, like, he still hasn't done. When's the last time the Chiefs even won a Super Bowl?
3 years ago.
3 years ago, right? And they won. He got two, right? I thought he got two. He got one?
Yes. He went to two. He got one.
He went to two and he won one. Okay. So he's the quarterback of the future, but yet the way he plays, they compared him to what? A Michael Vick, an agile type quarterback. He gets injured and he's stuck in the pocket. That's going to change his entire career. I'm talking about he might not go down to the Hall of Fame because one championship doesn't take you to the Hall of Fame. So like they should really just give Hurts his love though. Like undefeated is undefeated. 8-0
But
though.
they,
Like we're not talking about 4-0 beginning of the season. 8-0, we're at the halfway point.
but they have these contracts with these broadcasting networks, correct?
That's
These
true.
contracts have to get revenue.
Plus
And
Head and Shoulders.
these broadcasting companies get their money off of ad revenue, right? And then these owners get their money off of filling the seats, and selling these jerseys, right? And who's going to sell more jerseys? Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, or Jalen Hurts?
But there's a lot of
but
don't forget there's a lot of
sounds
Philly
like
fans.
Business.
There's a lot of Philly fans compared to Chiefs
business
fans.
first, and business say that if Josh Allen is the most profitable, then he is going to be the most valuable. Value is not just on the field, value is off the field also, and you got to include the business aspect. Yeah. And with that, Josh Allen, because of that, is the most valuable.
That sounds like what Kanye said, but not the Jewish part. But that sounds what Kanye was saying about media and the power. Oops.
I mean, money is power, and influence is power, and sometimes that's just the way it is. We gotta
fly birds fly. Fly birds fly.
So speaking of this, getting you into places, Eminem just got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. As a rapper, though, Jay-Z also got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So it's not like, he's the only rapper that makes it in. But what are y'all thoughts on Eminem getting inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? In his speech, he bigs up a lot of people, and he actually throws up the Black Power fist. And what do y'all think? Is Eminem one that just used our culture, to get what he wanted out of it? Or is he one of those that's really like down for the culture and a really solid ally to the Black people, even though he's not Black himself?
Go ahead. I won't go first. My bad.
Oh, no, you good. Yeah, I mean, I believe of course, he's used the fact that he's white, a white man in a Black man sport, basically, Black person sport. He's used that to his advantage, obviously, to sell records. I mean, he was able to sell over 150 million records with, I think, Marshall Mathers LP alone. That's primarily based on him being able to also touch a white audience within the hip hop and pop communities. So yeah, of course he's used it to his advantage. But at the same token, Eminem, he's a dope MC. I mean, let's just be frank. He's a dope MC coming from the battle scene of Detroit. Obviously, more of his stuff when he, first came out, Slim Shady LP, Marshall Mathers, Eminem Show, those type of albums, really stick out to me. His 8 Mile soundtrack, all those albums that, he did early on in his career compared to later on in his career, where he kind of, tailed off a little bit. But, just overall, I mean, he writes, primarily all of his lyrics. He definitely, he produces a lot of the music as well. He's written music with Dr. Dre so like he, for his career, as a whole, he deserves to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But, to the question, yes, has he used the fact that he's white, again, in a Black man sport, in a Black person sport? He certainly has, whether or not he's, tried to be manipulative about it or whatever the case may be. It's certainly been to his advantage in his career, especially when it comes to selling records and tours and, selling albums. Like that has definitely mattered, the fact that he is white.
I would say this. I would say, is Eminem a dope rapper? Yes, he is. He is one of the best rappers out. Yes, but my question is, why isn't Nas in the Hall of Fame? Okay, keep going. Um, it kind of just it kind of reminds me of the NBA, as in Joker won the award and they kept giving him the MVP a little bit. Why? Because of right. So just like Amrock said, you're in a black man sport, basketball black man sport. We got to put our white people, or our people, our looking people, like make them the face. And Eminem, for a lot of people, is the face of hip hop. Now, goes back to what I said. Why is Nas not in the Hall of Fame? But that's just me.
Yeah, his eligibility should be. I think you got to be 25 years in the game, so Nas is definitely there. So you're right.
Eminem has been longer.
His is coming.
I thought Eminem came out after Nas.
You're right, and Nas, yeah. So Nas should be in there. His should be coming.
But his hasn't came because he hasn't had the same impact on the culture as Jay-Z has. You know what I mean? So they go and they put in Jay-Z first because everyone has said, there is no argue. He's the GOAT. So you put him in first. Then right after Jay-Z, who's the next rapper you're going to put in? You're going to put in the best rapper that's not black. You know what I mean? But no disrespect to say it like that. But growing up, like, I think the Marshall Mathers LP, when it dropped, I was like in 7th grade. And I low-key fell in love with the album because of all the stuff that he said. Like, I was deep into lyrical content and I didn't know it. Like, I didn't know, man, I did not know I was so caught up into like what people were saying when they were saying it. Like, beats were cool, but I was really into lyrics. And he's always had dope lyrics. I mean, like you said, Amrock with the 8 Mile soundtrack. I mean, when you think about just the 8 Mile movie itself and all the different little freestyles that was within the movie, that was what you watched that first go. Like the first time you watched it, it was like, oh, okay, that's cool, that's dope. You only watched it a few times after that just to watch those battles all over again because we didn't have YouTube yet. We didn't have the opportunity to turn around and just watch those little clips of the movie. So when you think about it, and I'm kind of shocked that nobody said it yet, Eminem discovered 50 Cent. You know what I mean? And when you think about 50 Cent also helped bring in the game, which when you look at West Coast rap, without the game, we haven't really been able to do anything, relevant, I guess, for a long time. I mean, yes, you have Kendrick now and you have J-Rock and you have other people like that. But what I mean, like, as far as when you look at the longevity of Eminem's career, I feel like he kind of had his own lane and stayed within it. Didn't cross too many paths with anyone that actually like created a problem for his career. I mean, Machine Gun Kelly was like one of the first beefs that we really thought about where it was like, oh, so what is this supposed to mean? Because like
Mariah Carey.
Oh, but we all know that whole
Machine Gun Kelly. Machine Gun Kelly was because Machine Gun Kelly tried to get at Eminem's daughter or something like that.
No, I know, but I'm saying like
hit Eminem's daughter, and Eminem like, oh, you try to hit my daughter.
Yeah, but you never really saw Eminem's
personal.
But that's what I'm saying.
MGK tried to get at
Mariah Carey. Daughter.
Well, yeah, and then y'all said Mariah Carey, but like what I'm saying, like you really haven't seen Eminem in like tabloids doing crazy stuff like that or whatever. And then when you think about like on the flip side, Eminem made the token white boy in every clique acceptable as long as he didn't try to be too much like us off of being fake and phony. Like if you was just a cool dude and you skateboarded and we all hoop, it was cool. You was good up with it. You know what I mean? But if you, bro, are you okay if I say it one time? That's when you got kicked out the group. And that's when, you know what I'm saying? So like, I kind of feel like I'm more pro, like I'm happy as a fan that he made it to the Hall of Fame. But I've never really felt like he tried to like jump on our side and do too much. Cause if you can ghostwrite for Dre, I ain't got nothing to say.
Yeah. So what's up? The famous homie joined in.
Finally.
What up, y'all? I'm glad I was able to catch this Eminem thing. This is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Y'all got to remember this. Rock and Roll. This is not the Hip Hop Hall of Fame. This is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
But we don't have a hip hop Hall of Fame.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is, of course he's going to get in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Of course he is, and he deserves it. Now, let me make my case for why he deserves it. Of course, I love Nas. I'm a huge Nas fan. You know, Nas is arguably the GOAT to me as far as, you know, pure MC, not talking about business success and commercial success, but as far as, you know, arguably he can make a case for Nas. But Eminem is special because for me, like Alvin Mayer said earlier, you know, the lyrical content, the lyrical skills, the metaphors, the rhyme patterns, the different ways he was spitting back then and not giving a fuck, you know what I'm saying, being himself. Eminem never tried to be too gangster, talking about he was from a hood. He never said the N-word, you know, on a song. He ain't never did that. You know what I'm saying? Other people like J-Lo and Fat Joe, and y'all know they're not white, but they're not black either. So, you know, Eminem has never crossed that line. And during political times, he spoke up more than most people on our side. He made a whole song talking about fuck Bush. You know what I'm saying? During that time when Bush was the president, he went at Donald Trump. You feel me? Like Eminem, he did stuff to ride for the culture, and he bought out 50. He rolled with 50, made him a star. You feel me? Eminem definitely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame off his first 3 albums alone. All those albums are classic. I don't give a fuck what he did after that. You know, those 3 albums are classic albums, and you know, for me, those were albums that got me through a lot because the crazy shit he was saying, it really helped the motherfucker. Help me, you know, let loose a little bit. And Eminem is a skilled rapper. You know, he's never backed away from no beef or and he's always won all. That MTK shit was bullshit, man. He destroyed that boy. So Eminem, you know what I'm saying? He destroyed that boy's career like he do everybody. He destroyed Benzino. He destroyed Ja Rule. He destroyed Mariah. He destroyed Nick. He destroyed everybody. And Game lucky he didn't come back and destroy him because he would have got destroyed too, as much as I fuck with Game. Eminem is a cold rapper, white or not. The motherfucker cold. He deserved all the accolades he get. He's definitely a top 10, 15 rapper of all time. If you say he not, you're a hater, period. Eminem, one of the greatest. So yeah, props to Eminem.
I give it up. You know, Eminem definitely changed the culture. He was definitely a staple. He definitely was somebody that, you know, when he came out, it was like, I don't really fuck with white boys, and I fuck with that one.
Exactly. Exactly.
And that was it. That was it for everybody. Well, let's get to this last topic, man, that I really wanted to shed some light on, man. This topic is paper genocide. So the definition of paper genocide is basically to erase the history of something on paper so that it is made to seem like it never existed. And this happened with the Native American peoples. Like in Virginia, all the Native American people weren't allowed to register as Indian. There was no section to select Indian. So it was either, you know, white or colored. So we were all lumped into one category that was colored. Now, if you do your research on the slave trade, they said the slave trade included about 10 million slaves, but they said 12 million of those slaves came over. It was about 12 million slaves total. Those 12 million slaves, about 2.5 million of them died on the boat trip over here. And out of those 10 million that was left that existed in America, about 5.5 of them were from African descent. So if it was about 10, 11 million slaves in America, half of them were indigenous people. So what they did was they came over and took over America, and they had basically, prisoners of war. And they would make the prisoners of war from the Indians slaves. And then they had what they had called indentured servants. And the indentured servants would pledge themselves to work for a slave master for a allotted time for a piece of land or a business or some type of trade-off. And after they completed their term, they would be considered a freedman. And there's a difference between a freedman and a free slave. So it was all these different terms that they lumped everyone in together and called them colored. And then after we were called colored, the next thing we moved into was being called mulatto. And this is why the rapper Mulatto had to change her name to Lotto because of how controversial that name was. So now went from colored to being classified as mulatto. And then we went from being called mulatto to being called black. And then after being called black, Jesse Jackson came out, and he was the one that started to classify us as African American. But if I just broke down the history to you, more than half of us was indigenous to America and had no descendancy from Africa. So when they say that black people came from slavery and were African American, more than half of us never came from slavery, didn't come from Africa, and has no descendancy from anybody that was a slave. So what are your thoughts on this whole paper genocide, thought? And do you think that this is a real thing? And do you think that this is what is currently happening to black people right now, as far as how they change and erase our history and reclassify us in a certain box that disqualifies us from other things?
Well, who's on? Okay, so I feel like everything I just heard you say, I heard from both of my grandfathers growing up. I remember being told that checking the box black only made it easier for you to be identified for problems. It would make it harder for you to get jobs. I remember, I don't know. It's like, it feels like Django. It's like you're free, but you're not free. When you said you're either an indentured servant or you're a slave, when you think about whether or not you have the opportunity to move forward now compared to where we came from before, it's like a cycle, I guess. Like, I feel like it's a cycle of BS that we've been fed because we're not willing to do any more digging and any more research, or even that whole concept of being woke, like we say every single week. Everything of the past is starting to come full circle, right? And if we didn't come over with Christopher Columbus, right? Or he didn't find this place and then slaves eventually came over here and we were already here, then maybe everything is just a lie. Maybe everything from Kyrie Irving's rants about the earth being flat, maybe everything should be fact checked, because the facts and the truth are completely different things, right?
Now,
because I'm just saying, no, look, I'm not trying to go that far into
right
it.
There. I just want to tap in right there, because if you look back at my previous episodes, then you would know that I am a flat earther. And I came to this.
I said that on purpose.
Ago, and that's a different subject.
I don't mean to bring it up.
We're going to actually. I think that it's time to bring that subject back to the table. So one day soon we're going to have to bring that to this podcast and really have that dialogue on that. But I'm going to have to feed y'all some information, and I'm going to have to let y'all marinate on it before I want y'all to come to this conversation. Because I've had people change their whole religion after this conversation with me sometimes. And this shit is real. And I don't want to look like a weirdo, but let's go back to the subject.
All right. Well, okay. So I'll finish it up. I'll finish it up fast so I can pass it back off to Amrock. So, because I was kind of going there with it, because it's just, there's so many different facts and different things that's being changed, like everyone's saying with the reset, Mandela effect, all that. That's really just making us have to go back to whatever it is that you believe. Because, regardless where you are, Catholic, Christian, Buddhist, Muslim, whatever, every book always talks about slavery. And for me, I've always had the hardest time believing that any religion wanted us to be enslaved by any other person. So I'm someone that's willing and open to listen to any and all type of information about the past. It's just looking at where we're going forward, dude.
I just want to tap in with one thing. And the first slave story that I ever heard was the Kunta Kinte story. What was the name of the book?
The Roots.
I thought that was a movie.
It was.
We had the VH
TV.
Younger,
It was
right?
a TV miniseries.
Right. The Roots.
And that was all fictional. None of that actually happened, and the character Kunta Kinte never existed. And this made it. It's a lot of this like folktale, fictional, make believe stuff that got us stuck in this slave mentality, and that's why they want to start our history there, and they want to keep nailing it in our head that we're free because one day the white man woke up and said, "Man, let's free these black guys and let's give them equal rights because that's what we should do." Because if you think that that's what happened, if you think that that's your understanding of history, then you really need to wake the fuck up and put your nose in the book and search some of this information. Because why would they do that? What reason would they have for that?
Yeah, no, you're okay when you're definitely.
Let me tap in before you, Amrock, because I want the educated brothers that know more about this to speak last, so it will be the last thing people hear. Because Caleb sent me some stuff today, and I was like, "What? What the freak is going on here?" It just blew my mind. And so, like how this whole thing is the whole census thing. They came out with the census way back in the day with the first presidents and everything like that. But in this little thing that Caleb sent me, the dude was saying some facts like, how did they really come up with all like that total number when they were going around doing the census door by door by door? And then he was talking about perception, and pretty much the whole census thing was to freak with people's mental. That's what I took from it. To freak with, especially us, freak with our mental to think that the white man is the majority, where they're really not the majority. Us as colored people are really the majority, but they make us think that we are the minority and we're inferior to them. Then it started talking about like some dude and anarchy, and then he was over here trying to tell us that we all came from monkeys, right? So
Darwin.
Yeah, Darwin. So
evolution.
Darwin's saying that we coming from monkeys. Now, this is what came in my head, and I told my wife. And this is what came in my head, and I told my wife this. I was like, okay, cool. So they pushing this whole little white agenda thing, and we all came from monkeys. Now, let's say we all did come from monkeys, right? Maybe the panel could correct me if I'm wrong. But even in 2022, how many white monkeys do you see? Right? So if we all came from monkeys, most monkeys are brown and dark. So in my head, I was like, okay, even if this dude is telling the truth, like the first people were dark skinned because monkeys are dark, right? So that's just me. Okay, so then it jumped into something about 2008 and how this dude came out and talking about Virginia and the whole slave thing, and then their whole little census thing is all messed up because they were making people put themselves as colored because they were really descendants of Pocahontas. It was like, I'm all freaked up. So let's get these brothers on here because I'm like, what the hell is going on here? America, we all jacked up.
Yeah, no, we definitely are all jacked up. Just real quick side note as well. Shame on the state of Louisiana. There were 5 other states that had slavery on their ballot, as if I guess the question was, is slavery still unconstitutional? And so you have 5 states actually vote on that in 2022. And Louisiana was one state that actually said that no, that slavery is not unconstitutional. That was just recently on this ballot for this year. So just a side note, real quick, that shame on those 5 states that actually considered to have that on their ballot. But we see, it's crazy. We see that as of recently, states like Texas went hard in trying to change Black history and what Black people have contributed to history, and our Black history within America, as they've tried to, and I think have succeeded in taking out Martin Luther King, I Have a Dream speech out of the history book text, slavery as well, trying to take that out completely of their textbooks, or trying to edit certain parts of that history. Same thing with the Ku Klux Klan, and trying to make it seem like they are, as Trump will call them, not bad people, right? States like Texas, state like Louisiana, Mississippi, all those, the clunk of red states in the South, have tried that. Some states in the North as well, like Vermont, is heavy, and their voters approve changes to their constitutional language. So, what does that mean? Right? So we have to look at the baby steps that these states and that the federal government has taken to slowly but surely try to erase the history of what Black people have contributed in America, and Black people's history within America, but then our history as a whole. Let's be clear, there were Black people already here in America. So Caleb, as you point out, it is proven that a lot of us didn't come directly from Africa, and you're absolutely right, because some of us were already here. Now, as Black people, our descendants all do come from Africa, but some of those Africans were before Christopher Columbus, the history that they, the bullshit history that they try to pull with that man, but anyway, there were plenty of Black explorers before that who actually were already here in America with the natives living. So, once the white man showed up, their first interaction with the so-called natives was they called them Black or dark-skinned people. And they were just like our tones, as we've seen throughout history. Native Americans, there are a lot of dark Native Americans that look very Black. And there's a reason for that. Because again, we were already here within the Americas, Northern and Southern, all the way from Alaska to the tips of South America and within the Caribbean. So, and they've tried to erase that history, right? But like Caleb said, everybody has to do their own research. Parents should keep educating their children outside of the school systems, and whether your school systems do teach Black history or not. My high school had a Black history course, but not all high schools do. I went to a historically Black college, but not all Black people have that opportunity or do that. So it's up to parents at home to also teach that Black history to our kids and make sure that they understand the history and that legacy continues. Once we're long, gone, because that's been passed down to us for plenty of generations, right? That's why a lot of us know our history and aren't just subjected to the propaganda that's laid out by the media and by some teachers and by some curriculums out there trying to erase that history and trying to minimize our contributions to the history within what we call America today.
What's good? The famous homie, you ready?
Yo, I'm ready. I'm ready. So I know we talked about this off air, but I think that they're gonna always try to do something. I don't believe that all of a sudden white America is gonna try to be right when they've never been right. You got to remember, these are the descendants of these people that done these horrible things. People always say it's in the past and it's done, but these are their direct descendants what we're fucking with these days. So what makes us think that they're all of a sudden gonna try to be right? Of course they're gonna run the paper genocide. They're not gonna make sure that they give reparations to black people like that. If they do that, you know how much money that is. We heard 350,000 per black American. You know how much money that is. That's a lot of money. They not, of course, they're gonna minimize it some way. They're gonna change some rules. They're gonna go back and rewrite shit like they've done, rewrite history and fake history and make up things and make believe. They're gonna do all of that because they're not gonna be right. If we stop expecting them to be right on some of these things and focus what we can do and what we can improve on and what we can take over, then we'll have more power. Of course, I don't pay no attention to none of this reparations or they're going to do this or they're going to do that. They ain't done shit. They ain't ever done shit. Everybody needs to do their research and realize, I don't want to jump off topic a little bit, but there's a whole history behind where we are, why we are the way we are. You know what I'm saying? We talk about these rappers dying and stuff like this. There's a whole history behind this, man. This is something that they set up. They set all of this shit up. So I don't expect them to try to make it right. I'm going to expect them to try to throw some wrenches in it to change it up a little bit to make sure they don't give out as much as they need to. It's going to be like that. So, yeah, that's what's happening and expected to happen. Y'all heard it first. Don't fall for the okie doke. Don't fall for the bullshit. It's not going to happen the way that they say they're going to happen because it's never happened like that.
I got one thing to add, though, Kaylin. It kind of sucks because as you guys say everything you say, and you guys know my whole, passion and desire and calling for life is to like try to instill confidence in kids and make sure they know they're the best versions of themselves. It's really wild when you see kids, especially like say under 15 years old, portraying a lifestyle of the late 80s, early 90s, right? Like as if they lived it. And you always say, who's that kid around? You know what I mean? Like who's paying attention to him, like, or her, because it's never just, a boy. And it hurts to say, but there's more times right now that we'll have conversations with peers, right? We think of us, 20s, 30s, 40s, whatever. I know I'm in my 30s, but you talk to anybody within the 25 to 35, more people are still worried about themselves turning up, finding themselves or whatever, instead of making sure that their kids, nieces, nephews, or whoever are helped and educated and aware of what type of situation they're in this world that we're living in. Like nobody's really sincerely like paying attention to the kids so that they can see, like, so that they have a fighting chance within all of this. Because it's kind of sad to say, but when you think about everything that we're talking about, 9 out of 10 kids are clueless. Doesn't matter the race or nationality, and they're going to be the ones that lead us when we're gone.
They say that war is 98% mental. So
they're winning the war. COVID was a great killer.
Definitely
of mental
spiritual warfare that's going on, and it's for the souls. And they talk about this in religion. They call it Armageddon, the rapture, the end days, whatever you want to refer to. But a lot of this stuff has been prophesied long before us. So this is just happening just as it was told it was going to happen. So our job is less about, worrying about why shit is happening and trying to wake up as many people as we can while we're here, and that's why we're all on this podcast right here, right now. And this is why we have all been brought together to commune, because this information needs to be spoke about. This platform needs to be upheld, and these conversations need to continue. Because if we don't have these conversations and this type of information doesn't exist out there, then how can we expect the kids to ever get it? And the great thing about content is that it lasts, forever. So the kids may be 12 right now, and might not be interesting to them. But 8 years from now, they might be thinking about this and go look up paper genocide, and this podcast pop up, and they hear this conversation, and they get the knowledge that we're talking about on this conversation. And this is why we do this, is because it's not just for now. This shit is for forever.
Facts.
So let's make sure that, like y'all's shirt says, we get off the broader average, and we try to get as many people as we can to get off the boat with us. But my main thing about the paper genocide is it's just a covert type of thing that you got, like Hollywood. If you look at Hollywood, I remember the Gods of Egypt movie. It had nothing but white actors in there. It was like, what the hell is this? Then you got movies like The Woman King right now that just come out, where you got, slaves, another slave movie, us rebelling against being slaves. It's like the narratives that they paint in Hollywood gives us a clear indication of what they think of us. And look at all the programming that gets picked up on TV. It's never anything positive. One of my favorite quotes from Malcolm X is, I do not expect white media to paint a positive picture of black men. And it's just the reality is that white media is never going to paint a positive picture of black men. It's just not going to happen. So when we get mad at them going against Kanye or slandering Kyrie or doing any of this, why are we getting mad at them? It's as expected. We're the ones that wake up and turn on ESPN every morning. We're the ones that rely on Fox News and CNN and MSNBC and all of them for their information, because we don't want to go dig and formulate our own opinions. We want them to give us the opinions so that we can go back to the hood and tell the other niggas what we know, because they don't know. It's like one-ing up each other instead of really diving into the information and checking it out for yourself and making your own, going off your own discernment. So paper genocide is definitely something that is live. The census has been lying to us. Like, they tell us white people are 60-something%. Based off the new information that I've been running into, I don't trust the census at all, because black people don't partake in the census. So if this is the number based off who's partaking in the census, then that's probably 30% of us that partake in the census. So black people are taking up a lot more, space in America than they telling us. What's your last final thoughts before we close this out?
My final thought on it, you're right. We can't expect white media to paint the positive picture of us. And I don't think, for me, it's not me being mad at white media. Like you said, I expect that. What I'm mad at is some of our black leaders and how they're handling the situation. I'm mad at the LeBron Jameses, the Kevin Durant's, and
Shaq,
Bill O'Neal's, the Charles Barkley's, and all these men and everyone in the NBA who left this man standing on all your NBA brethren, and nobody came to your defense. The only person that I've seen say something is Floyd Mayweather and
Jay Will.
Jay Will went off on a rant and stacked Steven Jackson, but it's like nobody is standing with this dude. And I understand everyone's not an activist. You don't have to be an activist, but it's better just to shut up and not say nothing. If you're LeBron, you could have said, next question, I don't have a comment. But you went out your way to call this man out his name and say you don't respect it. And Shaq called him an idiot. That's what I'm more mad at. So for black people, I wish that we could be more united. And I'm pessimistic about it, because we can't agree on anything. We got half of us that still sleep, half of us that don't care. And I just wish that we would be more united and do more research before we make these comments and stupid opinions. and stop downing each other in public, man. We can have this discussion in private. We got to stop downing black people in public because that gives them validation. So that's my final thought on it.
I say it's name, image, and likeness. No, I'm just saying, like you said, Ronnie, like everybody went in on him, right? Everybody. Not one person stood by him. But why would they? Everybody wants to be Django. I use a reference all the time. Like everybody wants to be that one exceptional nigga. The one that gets the pass, the one that doesn't have to look over his shoulder and think that the next man's gonna come and get him because the world is not set up for us to succeed the way we're supposed to, the way we want to, the way we feel we're entitled to, like everyone else is entitled to. So, I mean, I hate to say it, but Kyrie being Kyrie, it shows that he's willing to be himself, but he's also showing that everyone else is just wanting to be cookie cutter. You know what I mean? Like, how many people really rock braids anymore? How many people really are dreading their hair? How many people are staying true to the culture? If they're not true to the culture, how many people are talking like we're talking? Like, everybody's giving up and we're seeing it. It's just we don't want to believe it. So we turn the channel or we swipe up to the next post to believe that we didn't believe what we just saw. You know what I mean? But like Shaq almost derailed JaVale McGee, and look at what JaVale McGee did.
Just to chime in real quick, I think that them coming back, we always reference the Lakers bubble championship, but the Lakers coming back and LeBron coming back and playing in that bubble instead of showing unity really showed how weak we was as a community. That really could have made a big stamp, and that could have really made a big statement to the youth. But instead, they went and got a bubble championship because he cared more about his legacy in the NBA than his people. And those are the type of people that we're propping up and saying, hey, these are our leaders, when they're not our leaders. We are the leaders. But people are looking at celebrities as the leaders instead of looking at the leaders in their community that can actually put them on the path that they should be on.
Yeah, we also got to understand too, we're in a different time. Our leaders, like you said, they're just deep in the community, and a lot of them don't have the resources, especially financially, to be put out there in the forefront. So we look at celebrities, but we have to understand too that these celebrities are, in a sense, their dollars and their livelihoods are controlled by what we all now are calling the untouchables, right? And we know who those people are. Those people who control most of the industries, including the sports and the music industries. And so these athletes, yes, should they speak up? Absolutely. But unfortunately, we're in that society where, because we are not in control of those entities that we primarily dominate, again, as in sports and music. We're always told to just shut up and dribble, or just do music and go over there or stay over there, right? It's unfortunate, but that is the society that we live in. So you're right, we shouldn't look to these celebrities as our leaders. We should look more into the community, and certainly not at politicians either. We should look more into the community and where are the leaders within the community doing the day-to-day work on the blocks, on the street corners, at the community centers, within our schools, who are helping these kids, who are helping these teenagers, right, try to be better and do better within their lives. We should look towards those people right now instead of celebrities, because again, these celebrities, there's strings that's pulling them. Like, none of them are, like, some of them own businesses. Of course, LeBron has businesses and Shaq has businesses and all that, but none of them still are fully owners. There's still people over top of them controlling, pulling the strings. And we have to understand that when we are looking towards them to say, hey, what do you have to say? So, we can't do that, unfortunately, with these celebrities. Now, if some speak out, salute, like Jalen Brown, there are athletes out there that will just say, hey, fuck it, and speak out. But we can't, again, the expectation, should we expect that from them? No.
And going off of the YouTube that you sent me, Caleb, if you look at the celebrities and even us in our everyday life, there was a part in that YouTube that talked about what a freedman was. And people got it confused with, oh man, if you were considered a freed person, then you were able to roam however you wanted to. And it didn't mean that. It meant that you were just relieved of your duty, but you still a nigga. So you got to understand with a lot of these celebrities are the new age freedmen, where they're able, you may look at them and they're able to do whatever they want to do, but at the end of the day, you a freedman. Shut up and dribble that ball. We ain't asking you to talk. Hey, make that music. We paying you a lot of money to make music that's promoting, hey, you should still be trying to live in the streets instead of getting out of the streets and whatnot. Hey, even for us as everyday people, we are freed men. We go from one job to another job, working for somebody else instead of beating at your craft and having ownership of your own, where you thinking you free because they giving you extra money, but you ain't really free because you don't got your time. If somebody still got to tell you when to clock in and clock out, you ain't free. It's the new age slavery. But a lot of us don't think like that. It's, oh, I'm getting this paper. Oh, I'm on salary. They doing X, Y, and Z. I got these benefits. Oh, your benefits is your shackles. So a lot of us, we move as freedmen instead of being free. So when we look to these celebrities for help, the Shaqs and the whoever, they ain't coming to your aid because they freed men. That means they still got the shackles on them. They doing the same thing with, what's his name, Nori did to Kanye. You put Kanye on your podcast, and then all of a sudden something happened. You were like, oh, no, I have nothing to do with that.
Now, speaking of Kanye, everybody talks about slavery was a choice. Now, when he's referencing that, I think he was more talking about the freedmen, the indentured servants that were indigenous to this land and chose to trade their contract in indentured servitude for land or for a business or for some type of trade-off. And that's essentially what these NBA players are doing when they're signing these contracts that control, like the mayor said, their name, likeness, and image. What is it? Is that it? That's what they're giving up, as well as their play on the court. And this is why they get a percentage. They have to go on strike. You remember when the NBA went on strike a few years ago? That's because they didn't used to get a percentage of the jersey sales. So you can sell a million jerseys with my name on the back at $80 a pop, and I don't get a red dollar because I'm getting a salary that's based off of a game check. And if I don't play in the game, I don't make no money. If that ain't indentured servitude, then I don't know what is. You know, and that's why Kanye was talking about, I know that we the new slaves.
And you know that now with the NIL, or was it name, image, like what NIL, NLI, I don't know. But
name, likeness, image.
There you go. With those contracts, you know, children are able to sign them now.
Uh-huh.
Right. So what I find to be interesting is that financial institutions, right? Literally financial institutions, some that Yaja Keg and I talk about because they like to be in competition with us. They're trying to promote that they can help sign your child to a name, image, and likeness contract. As soon as you feel as if they could bring some type of money to their name, correct? So how funny is that you're trying to contract your child into making money off of who they are instead of teaching them who they are first? Because once they sign a contract, they have to adhere to that contract. And then if you don't get no money. But why do they need to work that early to be something that they don't even know if that's in fact what they want to be? You know what I mean? Like, Oh, it's like Raven Simone with the Cosby Show and how everyone talked about her, or Orlando Brown with, you know, everything in all the different movies he did. Everyone said when you're a child star that clouds your judgment. That went away for the last 20 years, right? Those child stars are now grown, right? Hannah Montana, all those people are grown, right? So now you change the name, you do it all over again, and everyone's sitting back and going, "Oh, I want to do this. Let me get my kid into it."
Darren Carter.
Yep.
I know. We just had a child star. It wasn't ruled a suicide. I know he was in the bathtub.
And it was right after they started talking about the Michael Jackson thing and how he said that Michael Jackson did nothing to him, that his mom lied to try to get money, and low key he hid out here he died out here in the AV, Caleb.
In the AV.
In the AV, the same place where y'all's at, the same place where I'm at, the city that we put on the map, or at least attempting to. He passed away here, and it's not even. To me, it seems more or less like a suicide because guilt is going to get to you eventually. And if you've lived the highest of the highs and you've witnessed the lowest of the lows, you never know.
All right. Well, the last thing I gotta say is, man, each one teach one, man. That is the best thing that we can do. Is if you run into some information, don't hold it to yourself. Make sure that you spread it. Make sure that you tell somebody, at least one person. Each one teach one, whether they spread that information or not. You know, Joe Budden had a bar, you know, and he says 3 types of people in this world. You know, there's people that make shit happen, there's people that watch shit happen, and there's people that don't know what the fuck happened. You know what I'm saying? So we spent time being all 3, and now we out here making shit happen. So let's continue marching on, getting to it. You know, each one teach one. And, you know, keep marching towards our dreams. We're going to get there. You know, it's not an if, it's a when. This is going to happen. But let's get some shout-outs before we get up out of here.
I'll shout out all you guys. It's some of the best part of the week. That hump day, that Wednesday podcast. Shout out to the AV. We got somebody that's actually dedicated to us, and he's about to put us on the map in a serious way. I'm talking to you, y'all. Gotta give you your flowers digitally. so proud of you, bro. I'm very excited for you. We got a lot of things to do. And then, as always, the kids are the future, so we should be focusing on them. So today's hoodie was brought to you by some of my AV Elite crew. Be the change you wish to see in the world. It starts with you. Be it. Don't hesitate. Embrace it. Somebody say something.
Yeah, shout out to everybody here. Shout out to you guys, PolitiKan. Definitely appreciate, always being on this platform. Shout out to the state of Maryland. Look, I'm not always big on voting and because I'm just like almost probably a lot of black people where voting, is that really going to change much for me? But shout out to the state of Maryland who elected black governor Wes Moore last night. So I think that's pretty dope. We'll see what he got to let's see what he's going to do. As with all of these politicians, we'll see. But that was a huge moment for the state of Maryland. So shout out to the state of Maryland. But as always, shout out to you guys, and definitely appreciate the topics and the conversations and the debates and the thoughts that goes into this and the thought that you guys, the thoughts and y'all's experiences that y'all bring to the table. It's always special.
Yes. So likewise to everybody. Shout out to the panel. Shout out to everybody that's been watching us, all the fans, everybody that's been supporting, that's commenting, that's adding dialogue, that's supporting the PolitiKan platform. We've grown so much over the past couple of years as far as experience and different things that we're doing, and I'm glad that to be able to be a part of such a content, something that with this type of content, because you don't hear this type of stuff out. So I'm proud to be a part of this. We have more things that we're doing, positivity in the light of all the rappers dying and this stuff happened, RIP Takeoff, you know, and another one bites the dust, you know. But, you know, in light of that, I just hope that we can move forward and continue to push positivity.
Amen. Y'all know what it is. It's politicking, 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 politicking. You know what it is. No, but shout out to all the brothers on here. You guys inspire me. You guys keep me going. It's just amazing to get 5 beautiful kings in one building, and not even in one building. It looks like we in one house. Well, Ronnie in the car today. Ronnie's in the garage. But get us all together and speak our minds and grow. I wait for Wednesdays. Like, is it Wednesday yet? What we gonna get? I already know the first 2 topics is either gonna be the Lakers or Clippers. But after that, we golden, baby. Let's get it. So I appreciate y'all. Piggybacking off of what the mayor said. A lot of us want to be Django, but a lot of us, we acting like I don't even know his name in the movie. But a lot of us acting like Samuel L. Jackson when it comes to our fellow brother.
Uncle Russ.
Yes. we acting like him, and nobody liked him in the movie. You probably haven't even, like, after you see Django, you don't even look at Samuel L. Jackson the same. So we need to stop acting like that when it comes to each other, our brotherhood. Like Ronnie said, you know, we can talk about it behind closed doors, but in front of certain people, we gotta big each other up.
We gotta be united.
Yes, sir. I appreciate all y'all brothers, man. Shout out to Brand of Encouragement, Black Rich Creators, you know, the famous homie, HNS 420, about to bring that Higher Learning podcast back, get these interviews popping. The mayor, focus on the future, man. Shout out to all y'all brothers. I love having these conversations. This is definitely one of the highlights of the week. I love that we stay consistent, but these conversations are definitely, like, you know, necessary. It's therapy for me at this point. You know, it's like something that I need. It cleanses my soul. So shout out to y'all brothers for joining me in these conversations. You know, as we try to spread this knowledge and be fruitful, man. You know, the Lord says go and be fruitful. So that's what we're doing. So I always like to end with my famous quote, man, because I mean this sincerely. You know, I'm a Leo, I'm a lion, and, you know, I look at things differently. You know, like my name comes from the Bible, and Caleb was one of the scouts that the Israelites sent when they got to the promised land. And when they got to the promised land, they came back and they was like, oh, nah, the promised land is filled with giants. We can't go in there. And Caleb was one of the 3 scouts that was like, man, fuck the giants. We finna go in there and take this shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I really feel about, you know, this whole industry and my whole approach to this game. That you put you in a cage with a lion, just because you don't try to eat the lion, don't mean the lion ain't gonna try to eat you, man. Politicking the podcast. We out.